We say what's going on, everybody. Christian Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with a team preview today. One that I'm gonna be honest, I kind of put it off a little bit. Just been so busy lately. Obviously, you guys know about the radio station. I've been busy with school, but we're back and we're here for another team preview. I have the list with me. I won't go through every single team we've done so far. It is a lot. We have covered teams like Clemson and Iowa, Florida State, Georgia Tech, USC, Alabama, Oregon, Georgia. I could go down the list, your usual suspects. But we still got a long way to go with these team previews. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think we're going to get it all. I thought at the beginning of this offseason that we could get every Power 5 team. I'm going to try my best to get as many as I can within, the next month or so, month and a half. And I don't know what got into me to where I thought I could do that. I guess determination took over. But we're going to do our best and we're going to move forward. I'd like to at least get the SEC. We got Vanderbilt left. We got Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And then we have Arkansas left in the SEC. We've done Alabama and Auburn, Florida, Georgia, LSU, Missouri, Tennessee. A&M was one of our last ones. So let's try to work with the SEC for right now, and then if we have time, we'll go over to like the Pac-12 or one of the other conferences. So that being said, we're going to get into today's video. Don't forget, please hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We do college football content over here at Ballard Sports Media. We've done some baseball content. It's been really hard to follow along this off season. Again, I am a college student, so I try to focus on my studies. So there's that. 2023 Vanderbilt. Well, first off, let's back it up and talk about what they did last year. Is go 5-7 overall, which for Vanderbilt that's pretty good because they have had some 2 to 3 win seasons, and to be one game short of 500 and going bowling, I think that's pretty good. You look at what they lost to. They lost to Wake Forest, lost to Alabama. I was at that game, my first Alabama game, 55-3 in Tuscaloosa. They lost to Ole Miss off of bye week. They lose to Georgia. They lose to Missouri. They almost won that Missouri game. It came down to a field goal that decided it. Could have had better defense there at the end. Could have had better offense at the end too. But it is what it is there. Then you kind of keep it competitive with South Carolina. South Carolina pulls away a little bit. You get them at home. You get them on the road this season. To turn around and have this stretch, you lose to South Carolina close, but then you beat Kentucky and Florida. And yes, you lost in a shutout to Tennessee. Tennessee was kind of mad about their loss to South Carolina, so that's understandable there. But I credit Vanderbilt for Kentucky and Florida as victories. To be one game shy of 500. That's pretty good. So, that being said, I'm going to pull up the 2023 schedule. Again, 5-7 last season. We want to look at this year. And does it look familiar? It looks familiar to me because I've stared at it a few times. And I actually tried to go through with the Vanderbilt preview, but failed. So, this is kind of a redo of my Vanderbilt preview, if I'm being honest. I tried it one day and just, had some connection issues and stuff like that. I got frustrated, but no big deal. Hawaii, week 0. This is a home and home. You get them at home this year. Then you get Alabama A&M. I know who I'll be pulling for in that game is the in-state teams, but I wish Vanderbilt the best of luck. You got to go play Wake Forest, an 11 o'clock game on the ACC network. Could be a trap. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Uh, I would say UNLV on the road next. You should be able to handle that team, but they can field some 6-6, 7-5, maybe 8-win teams. They're not too bad, not too shabby. Kentucky, Missouri, and then at Florida. And then you get Georgia at home. You're probably not going to beat Georgia. You probably won't get Kentucky, but it's possible. I think there's potential there. I think that's one of the games that's going to be a tone setter for the rest of the season. If you keep it a one score game, even if it's like 10 points, maybe it's a turning point for Vanderbilt. That's on September 23rd. I mentioned Missouri at home on September 30th. Then you got to go to Florida. You got to host the Georgia Bulldogs, the back-to-back champs, who are looking for a three-peat this year. I don't think it's going to happen, but you're standing kind of in the way of that. Could you pull an upset? It's possible. I don't think it happens, though. You get 2 bye weeks because you play week 0. Your first bye week comes on October 21st, which I think is good timing. We talk about good timing there. At Ole Miss at Vaught Hemingway on October 28th, host Auburn, and then play at South Carolina in Columbia. Then you get a bye week on November 18th, and then you're back on the road to Knoxville to play your rival in the Tennessee Volunteers. So, overall, it's going to be a tough schedule, a tough stretch for Vanderbilt. I do think they could come away with some upsets, possibly, but we'll see. I don't expect too much. I think that it's a tougher schedule than what you had last season, where you went 5-7. And you would think with bringing back some talent and bringing back guys that could help you win big time football games, you would think that boosts you from 5-7 to 6-6 or 7-5. Of course, you're going to have like AJ Swan and Ken Seals and Mike Wright battling it out for the quarterback position. I'm not sure who is the starter at the moment. I don't think they have one. I've heard a lot of good things about Mike Wright. I've heard a lot of good things about Ken Seals. I think those two are the guys to really what it comes down to. And of course, you got some good running backs in Ray Davis. Let me see. I want to double check something here. Yeah, he's still on the team. He'll be, I guess, a fifth-year senior. He had over 1,000 yards last year. He averaged 4.5 a carry, 5 touchdowns. Pretty good. Scored against Kentucky. So, Ray Davis. Isaiah Fotan is a freshman, going to be a sophomore. Chase Gillespie is going to be a sophomore running back. Quite a few running backs for Vanderbilt. I'm actually a little bit surprised, but I guess they have with Clark Lee, they have up their recruiting game in many different ways. Okay, so what I see from the roster, what I see from the stats, did pretty good last year. You bring most of those guys back, even on defense, so leader in receptions, he's at least still listed on here. Again, they haven't updated it for 2023 to my knowledge. But leader in interceptions last season, Wright, DeRicky Wright, 33 tackles, 3 interceptions, 6 passes defended from Gadsden, Alabama. I like that. 6'4", 230, junior last season, going to be a senior. And then Anthony Orji, the linebacker, is with the Saints. He led the team in tackles at 106. So you're going to need some guys to step up. You have C.J. Taylor and Jalen Mahoney, who's a senior from Rock Hill, South Carolina. So you have those two guys could step up and help your case. So they have the talent. They have some experience coming back for Vanderbilt, and that's good. Can they execute it on the field? And is the schedule a bit too tough? I think it is tough. I think you could come away with wins the first 2 weeks. You could probably even go 3-0, 4-0 going into the Kentucky game. Think at most you win the 3 of the first 4 games. We'll see. Then you get to Kentucky, and it gets rough. Could you win that first SEC game? I think the big thing for Vanderbilt is they want to win more in the SEC. I think they know they can handle some of the non-conference like Hawaii and Alabama A&M. Wake Forest is going to be tough and a game to look at. The possible upsets are the games that you actually could pull an upset over. And I came up with 2. I don't think Kentucky's much of an upset. I think on the road in the swamp, even though a lot of people expect Florida to be terrible, that's still an upset. I think at Wake Forest, Wake Forest is still a pretty good team. I know they lost Sam Hartman to Notre Dame, but, that's their own issue that they're going to have to figure out. Any Power 5 team like that on the road is tough and hard to take care of. So, bring back a lot of talent. You have the schedule set up. Like, you should be able to handle some teams. I'm not saying you have to beat them, but could make these games competitive. Kentucky at home, Missouri. Georgia's probably going to be a blowout in the Bulldogs' favor. Auburn at home. You could get Auburn at home. Hugh Freeze. I don't see it happening, but that's a potential upset that I didn't think to put on the list, and I apologize. But what if Auburn can't get things figured out with the new head coach, at least in year 1? Could you win against the team from Alabama? It's possible. At South Carolina. South Carolina looked pretty good late in the season last year, pulled away some wins against Tennessee. Be careful about what they do this year. They could disappoint. They could surprise us. They could do even better. Spencer Rattler comes back. Austin Stogner to tight end. They have some players. And you finish the season at Tennessee. I will say this. I think for 2023, I do have you below 500. I don't see. I guess at most you probably could go 6-6. It's just hard to find 6 wins on this schedule. It's hard to find 5. So I found 4. I think it's all but 1 in the non-conference. I just think Ole Miss is better. I think Missouri probably better. Kentucky probably better. Georgia definitely better. Even Auburn is probably better than Vanderbilt. And South Carolina's on the road. And you have to go to Neyland Stadium. Well, they lost Hendon Hooker. They can have Joe Milton. You got Squirrel White coming back. Tennessee's going to still be pretty good. In fact, you go back to my first preview video of the offseason in Georgia. That's the lone loss that I gave the Bulldogs. So, anyway, I'll say for Vanderbilt, I think it needs to be a slowly progressed program, meaning you take one step forward each year. You take one step forward. You get one extra game. You get better and you get better and you get better. Clarkley's on no hot seat by any means. 5-7 last year. You're one game shy of a bowl game. Come on. I just think the schedule's a little tougher, and I got it by one game. I think you take one step back record wise, but you have the players to. I mean, you have the talent. You got the coaching. The question is, do you have it in you to make a bowl game this season? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and give a record prediction. I got you below 500. I got you taking one step back to 4-8. Which now that I think about it, um, it's possible it's not 4-8, and it's possible you're not the bottom of the SEC East because Florida is going to be pretty terrible this year. Just calling it like it is. Nobody's really expecting much from the Gators. And speaking of, you are below 500 here at Ballard Sports Media, so we give the wins, not the losses, because that would just be ridiculous to list all of those. The wins you have: Hawaii, week 1, week 0, technically. Alabama A&M, UNLV. I think you'll beat all of those. I think you pick up on Florida. I look at Georgia and I say, no way. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm gonna give it to Kentucky. I'm gonna change my prediction last minute. I'm gonna say 5-7. I think you could get Missouri. I think maybe I overlooked. I'm gonna say 5-7 as my record prediction. I'm gonna pick up Mizzou for you guys. I'm gonna pick up Mizzou. So, with this being breaking news at Ballard Sports Media, that there is a change in my prediction for Vanderbilt. Instead of 4-8, I'm gonna go 5-7, and I'm gonna give you Missouri. I didn't think much about it. Missouri doesn't have much of an offense. I like Eli Drinkwitz. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great guy too. Great human being. He's fun to listen to in his pressers. But I don't know. Vanderbilt has some of their games at home, like Missouri. If that's on the road, it's a loss. I don't know if you go to the zoo and pick up a win, but you could probably pick it up at home. Kentucky's just a little bit better. They got a 24 next to their name. I don't know where they get these rankings from because ESPN hasn't officially put out their preseason poll yet. But, I mean, Kentucky is 24 somewhere, so they're ranked somewhere. And that's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, but it's doable. So you could get Kentucky. I honestly, I should have done a better job with these banners and my notes, and I apologize. But I look at it, Vanderbilt could go 5-7 again. I'm going to go 5-7 as my final thoughts on Vanderbilt. Could they pick up one extra game and make a bowl game? I think it's possible. It wouldn't surprise me. So if it happens, don't come back to this video and say you doubted us and I can't believe you would say we wouldn't make a bowl game. And so I'm not saying you won't. I'm just saying my prediction is 5-7, and you're one game shy based on strength of schedule and how tough it is. And some of these teams in reality are just better than Vanderbilt. So I got you at 5 wins. But again, it would not surprise me if we saw Vanderbilt come away with a couple upsets. Again, they could get Wake Forest to start the season. They could get Florida, which I have them getting. If they go and take care of Wake, especially week 3, week 3, their first road game of the season, if they go and beat an ACC team like that, maybe there's potential. They turn it around. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. And until next time, folks, Ballard Sports Media checking out. I love y'all, and y'all have a good day. Hey, Vanderbilt fans, go prove us wrong. Go make a ball game. Represent the SEC. We love you here at Ballard Sports Media, and we'll see you next time. Peace.